Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Ronge RCMP are investigating after a teen was shot Monday. RCMP responded to a report of a shooting in Ronge a little after 4 a.m. Monday morning. Officers found an injured female who was taken to hospital with serious injuries. An investigation found the victim was outside a residence when she was shot by an unknown individual. RCMP continued to investigate. Anyone with information or who saw suspicious activity in the early hours of Monday morning on Carolyn Rat Street is asked to report it to RCMP or Crime Stoppers. The economy was front and center in Saskatoon today as Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem spoke to business leaders. Macklem says he spoke about the new realities Canada is facing when it comes to issues with free trade and handling U.S. tariffs. Macklem says the country will face more economic trouble unless it addresses productivity and finds ways to get more products to other markets and finds more markets for its products. Macklem was also asked specifically about Saskatchewan, and while he said no part of the country is immune from tariffs, Saskatchewan has done a better job than some other provinces at diversifying trade.
Canada needs to diversify its trade. Saskatchewan's, you look at a map, it's like right in the middle of the country, U.S. in the south, Alberta, Manitoba around it. Yet it has managed to diversify its trade more than some other parts of the country. So it is a good place to talk about trade and what can be done to diversify our trade.
Macklem will be in Saskatoon for a couple of days, which he says will include visits to a mine as well as some local businesses. Some Prince Albert firefighters are learning how to respond to wildland fires in urban areas. 4 firefighters from the Gateway City are joining the Saskatoon Fire Department in Wildland Urban Interference Fire Training. The 4-day training program is in partnership with the International Association of Firefighters. The Saskatoon Fire Department says with urban expansion into formerly rural and forested areas, there's a significant increase to the risk of wildfires impacting homes, infrastructure, and lives.
If we have a bad drought year, and then with winds, we always get winds in Saskatchewan, that impact on the fire, we could potentially be in a worse situation. So we've seen that gap, and that's why this training is important.
Once the training is complete, the firefighters will become instructors and can teach others how to respond to these types of fires. Big swing in temperature today, Jeff. Was it about 20 degrees from the low to the high?
It really jumped around. There's no question about that. But the good news is temperatures are staying above seasonal, John. We had another warm day. Tomorrow expected to be warm as well. And I know we had a risk of frost last night. I haven't had any reports. Nobody's phoned in and said we had frost. But I know that a lot of people, including me, were covering things up just in case. So that is likely in store for again, a good strategy tonight, but the risk of frost is a little less. But just take a look at the map and you can see why there's still a risk of frost out there. Not a lot in the way of cloud cover, but the high pressure is still there, and temperatures are going to stay on the warm side. That warm air coming up from the south still impacting a large portion of Saskatchewan. We'll talk about that later on.
Hundreds of Canadian business owners in the food industry were in Saskatoon today sharing their startup stories and discussing challenges of getting their product to market. From spicy dill pickle beef jerky to freeze-dried strawberries, food entrepreneurs from across Canada gathered in Saskatoon for the Food and Beverage Summit at Prairieland Park. One of the big topics, distribution challenges and rising costs.
Packaging is going up, labels are going up, the cost of distribution is going up. Figuring out what cost increases we can absorb, what cost increases we are forced to pass on to the retailers and therefore the consumer, where we meet in the middle with that, and what the market will bear, and how do we still make a living with the cost of everything going up.
Despite inflationary pressures and cross-border trade barriers, business owners at the summit say they're seeing growing interest in buying local. The recent changes in CFL rules have a number of amateur football organizations questioning the next steps. While the Canadian Football League and Canadian Amateur Football League have different rule books, one typically affects the other. The executive director of Saskatoon Minor Football says while no official decisions have been made yet by the league, the potential changes to the goalpost placement will have a significant impact.
There's a lot of facilities, thousands of facilities across the country here that are going to need some pretty major changes to it. And that comes at a mega cost. And I don't think the CFL is paying for that. So we'll have to figure out what's in the best interest of the game going forward from an amateur standpoint.
Both the Canadian Junior Football League and U Sports have released statements saying they're taking some time to consider next steps. Nearly 200 police officers across the province are being celebrated for keeping impaired drivers off the roads in 2024. The 7th annual Mad Canada's Van Divorce Family Awards took place today in Regina, honoring the Saskatchewan police officers who keep roads, waterways, and trails safe. A similar event took place in Saskatoon on Monday. Silver, gold, and platinum levels of the awards were given out based on the number of impaired drivers the officers removed from the roads.
It's Mad Canada's honour and privilege to acknowledge police officers who remove impaired drivers from the road. Technically, they're saving lives every day, and we need that enforcement to continue to be proactive in Saskatchewan.
The awards are in memory of the Van Divorce family who were killed by an impaired driver in 2016. With all the talk about tariffs driving up costs and squeezing producers, one local processor is keeping crops close to home. Virginia Decloux has more on the farm turning harvest into food and drink.
Amid tariffs that drive up cost and squeeze producers, many local processors are keeping crops close to home, turning harvest into food and beverages that sustain their local communities.
Yeah, in general, I try to support local. Like, we're a small town business who ask people to support local, so it's only fair if we also support local ourselves.
His in-laws decided to stop farming grains, but they still wanted to produce something.
So they took a small section of the yard, planted some hops, put them up, put up poles and strings, and they grew well. They grew very well.
Now the farm provides fresh hops for the small brewery in Moosomin.
As much as I am able to, I buy Saskatchewan malted barley, and I use the hops grown at the hops farm. So most of the beer we come out of here is almost entirely Saskatchewan ingredients.
About 2 hours north, a Yorkton staple is serving its community with locally sourced, ready-to-eat products.
We go through, 1,000 or 1,500 tons a month, so it requires a lot of different farms. But we try to really grab our flax locally, or as local as we can.
He says DA Foods chooses Canadian ingredients because of its high quality, and the growers are ethically responsible.
Some of the farmers we've worked with, for 15 years, we keep buying their flax every year, every other year, depending how it works into the rotation. And we just trust that what they're bringing in here is of high quality and ungrading.
It seems to be a winning strategy.
So as soon as it runs out in a store, we're getting emails about it. Where's the TA Foods milled flax product? So our local customers love our product.
Over the years, TA Foods has expanded to supply grocery chains in Canada and beyond. While tariffs continue to raise concerns for our crops and producers, this harvest is still a time to celebrate the bounty grown and processed locally. Virginia Decloux, CTV News, Yorkton.
We are expected to meet Saskatchewan's newest millionaire tomorrow. That's when Sask Lotteries will announce the winner of the September 6th $5 million Lotto 649 draw. No details about the winner or where the ticket was purchased have been revealed. A news conference with the winner is being held in Saskatoon tomorrow. After the break, Parkland Ambulance is recruiting. Jasmine Pelche finds out the exciting career opportunities available. You might know the job of a paramedic through TV and movies, and while it's not always as dramatic as you see on screen, it's every bit as exciting and fulfilling. Jasmine Pelche finds out more about a recruiting push at Parkland Ambulance.
Parkland Ambulance put out a call for new recruits. What kind of jobs are you looking to fill?
Well, thanks very much for visiting with us today, Jasmine. We're sitting in one of our ambulances, so folks don't recognize the back because they've never had the experience, good or bad, to be part of our care. We're in one today. And so we have two divisions, so I need to explain that a little bit to the public. So we have a communication side because in Saskatchewan there are 3 medical communication centers, one in Saskatoon, one in Regina, and one here in Prince Albert. So we have that side that is always recruiting. Plus, of course, we operate a ground ambulance service for the city of Prince Albert and a large swath of the surrounding area. And that's another side of our recruitment strategy. So if we start on the paramedic side, Jasmine, we're always looking for paramedics. And we are competing with everybody else in the province of Saskatchewan who is also looking for paramedics, whether they come from Sask Polytech programs or from outside of Saskatchewan. We'd love to have them be part of our team. I think that we've got an exciting opportunity for them here in the city. Folks who live in the city know we have lots of opportunities if you like hunting and fishing and camping and being at the lake and all of those aspects of here. We've got great schools, we've got great sporting facilities and lots of that. So families, so we're looking maybe that there's a paramedic and it's a he, and maybe his spouse is looking for work too. Maybe she wants to work in our communication center, so we can do that sort of a thing in terms of our strategies.
Or the other way around.
Absolutely, absolutely, Jasmine. It can be the other way around. And you know what? We have lots of female paramedics. This used to be many years ago, and folks will recognize by my gray hair. I've been around for a few years. It used to be a male-dominated profession, and I truly believe we've switched that curve right now. We have lots of female paramedics, both in our primary care and in our advanced care paramedics, who are as good, if not better than the guys, but it's a team, and that's really what it is. From our communication center to our paramedics to our administration staff, it's a team.
In terms of becoming a paramedic, if somebody's interested in that career path, but they don't have the necessary training, do you guys help out with that at all?
Absolutely. The great first part to start is in our profession, we are a self-regulating professional body. So we have a college of paramedics who governs the activities of our paramedics. So that's a step. I wouldn't call it a hurdle, but it's a step that someone, and we'll guide them through that process. But the basic entry point in our world as a street paramedic is what we call an emergency medical responder. And ironically, at the time we're recording the interview today, is that we are offering a course that's starting on October the 2nd. It's going to be a blended course, so it's a combination of online and classroom court training. And folks can call our office. We'll connect them with the right people to talk about. If they're interested, get them registered for that course. That's probably the easiest starting point to a career in our profession. The next level is a primary care paramedic. That is a course currently offered here in Saskatchewan, at least, by Sask Polytech. It's 51 weeks. You have to register with Sask Polytech, go through their prerequisites. But I think that for most people, if they're just starting, they're saying, hey, I want to be a paramedic. Or maybe they're an EMR already, because EMRs can work in construction companies, in the oil field, in mining companies. And maybe they're saying, I want a different career experience. Then by all means, give us a shout. We'd love to have you consider joining our team, and we'd love to sit down and talk about you, because if you're thinking of going on to the next level, to a primary care paramedic or an advanced care paramedic, let us help you achieve that goal as well. We want to be working with our team to support them, and we have strategies that we can help them along.
Well, thanks for speaking with me today. I think you've given anyone who's considering becoming a paramedic a lot of information to work with. So thanks again for having me and showing me the ambulance.
You're welcome, Jasmine. Thanks for coming and spending some time with us today.
After the break, Jeff takes a look at the weather forecast, and later, a new campaign aimed at keeping more girls involved in sports. All right, Jeff, what do we got in the way of clouds? I didn't see too much so far today.
Not a lot in the way of clouds at all, John. We have got ourselves a high-pressure area that is keeping the clouds away, and it's allowing some of that warm air to migrate northward from the U.S. of A. And we are looking at a forecast that is going to stay on the warm side of seasonal. We'll take a look at our satellite and radar shot here, and you can certainly see, yes, we've that atmospheric river and some of that moisture impacting parts of central British Columbia, migrating through Alberta and then into bits of northern Saskatchewan. We're expecting a lot more rain for the north coast of BC as well, but that's in the forecast. That's in the coming days. But across a large part of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and parts of Manitoba, big high-pressure area, that ridge is staying in place. Now, we are taking a look at some of these pressure lines that are getting fairly close together, and they will really get close together. You see this? They're really squeezing close together, and as they do, the winds will really pick up, but it looks like the winds will start to back off as we get into the latter part of the afternoon tomorrow. But it's going to be a windy start to the day and into tomorrow afternoon. 6 degrees in Spiritwood, 8 in the Battlefords overnight, 6 as well for Candle Lake, 7 in Birch Hills and Nipawin, 6 in Rostern, and 9 in Melfort. And it doesn't look, with those temperatures, there's little risk of frost. There's no risk of frost from Environment Canada, and usually that's only when temperatures are at 5 degrees or cooler. 19 degrees tomorrow for Spiritwood with mainly sunny skies, sunny in the Battlefords, 20 degrees. Look at that, 24 with mainly sunny skies in Rostern, 26 in Birch Hills with mainly cloudy skies, staying mainly cloudy for Candle Lake, a high of 23, mainly cloudy in Nipawin, 26 degrees, and mainly sunny in Melfort, and 27. And yep, those temperatures are way above seasonal. Well, at least they're way above for those places that are just to the eastern side of the province. So Spiritwood and North Battleford, just, you know, a couple of points, a few points above seasonal. So for Prince Albert and area, just on the edge, a slight risk of frost with 5 degrees, the expected overnight temperature. The winds backing off in the overnight period. And then as we roll into Wednesday, we've got ourselves mainly cloudy skies, but a windy day, as we mentioned when we took a look at the futurecast there with those pressure lines getting much closer together. So a windy morning and afternoon. It should back off in the afternoon, though. And then as we take a look at the long-range forecast, we've got 19 degrees on Thursday, 18 on Friday. And yes, high teens, but those temperatures are still above seasonal by a couple of points, and then into the low 20s again for the first full weekend of fall, and 21 degrees on Monday, and on Tuesday, Truth and Reconciliation Day, temperature of 20 degrees with cloudy skies. So all in all, a pretty impressive 7-day forecast if you're looking for above seasonal temperatures and not much in the way of precipitation.
27 in Melfort on a late September day. Not too bad. Hey, Jeff,
I know.
That's sunscreen weather still, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. If you ask some of our colleagues, you should be wearing sunscreen year-round.
There you go. Well, half of Canadian girls stop participating in sport by the age of 17. That's according to data from the Canadian Women and Sport. Now there's a new campaign aiming to turn that number around. CTV's Emma Convey reports.
Throughout her childhood, Ayushi Korean was quite active in sports. When she started university, the pressures of school and a part-time job forced her to take a step back.
I used to do like marathons and stuff like that. And like I was like in the basketball team, so we used to go for like inter-school competitions and stuff. Yeah, so it was like, feels like ages ago.
She's not alone. Figure skating coach Stephanie Steele says the teen years are when she sees skaters slow down.
There's just so much pressure on them from all aspects of life, school, etc. So I think just really trying to make sure that they know that we're always here for them, whether or not that means they're skating 5 days a week or cutting it down to accommodate their schedule.
According to Canadian Women in Sport, by age 17, half of girls aren't even playing sports anymore. A reason the national campaign Get Girl Coached was launched.
Girls are being asked to adapt to a sports system that wasn't really designed to serve them. And so they bump up against coaches that don't fully understand them. They run into lack of resources or inequitable resources.
And they're missing out on the benefits.
We want to really rally sport leaders all across Canada to get girl coached, which means really listening to the girls, understanding their experience and their wants and needs, and then taking action.
Work ethic, discipline, self-motivation, and working as a team, even in an individual sport.
I like about hockey that get to stay active and stay in shape. And I like that I meet a lot of new friends.
Alyssa Ivany started playing hockey at 4 and has no plans to stop.
I want to at least make it to college so I can get a scholarship to hopefully a really good university so I can be a doctor.
As for Ayushi, she plans to return to the track after she graduates university.
That adrenaline rush, like before you have like a big sport or like a big race, just that just makes me feel like really good. So I think, yeah, I would want to go back.
Emma Convey, CTV News.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
New research suggests smoking or vaping cannabis products regularly may put users at a greater risk of developing asthma. The study by the University of California, San Francisco connected the inhalation of cannabis on a daily basis with a 44% increase in the chance of developing asthma. Researchers also say inhaling marijuana every day amplified the risk of developing COPD by 27%. In fact, that risk may be understated, they say, since it takes the condition decades to develop, and researchers didn't have detailed information around how long study participants had been using the drug. The study was published in the Journal of General Internal Medicine.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
So let me get this straight. Inhaling particulates of some form may actually lead to asthma or OCPD? Wow.
Might be bad, you never know. There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter, Jeff, if you win or lose, it's all about perspective, and this kid has it.
The medal.
Little Levi was just as excited as his brother was for winning an award, just for participating. That's what it's all about. Little Levi there having some fun.
Bye now.
Have a good night.